What's up, y'all, man? Welcome back. Late night show tonight. Absolute Sure podcast. It's your boy D Fran.
Boy, B Neil, what's good with y'all?
Appreciate y'all for watching. Whether you're watching the live stream or whether you're watching the replay, salute you for being here. We got not a lot of different topics to hop into today. Really, one main overarching topic that goes into this, like everything going on in the news right now and today, and that would be the one and only Ye, formerly known as Kanye West. So he took the Alex Jones today. But maybe we'll start from the beginning. Maybe we'll go to the Tim Pool shit, then we'll go to the Kanye shit. Maybe we'll do it like
Oh,
that.
yeah, we did miss that.
We missed that. So maybe we'll go,
Everybody in
that
the
type
chat.
of shit. Salute review in the chat. Salute to the 5 people that's watching right now. We got to get to the Kanye shit. So, anyways, then we can briefly hop on the Tim Pool shit, because that's kind of like, at this point, that's like, who gives a fuck about that happening? Like, this is like a whole new, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a whole different level of Kanye that we getting right now. What are your thoughts on the Tim Pool shit?
Well, personally, I think Kanye went up there to kind of get off his shit. I don't think he went up there to debate. And when he went up there to share his piece, obviously Tim Pool had the right to kind of correct him and check him. But I also feel like Tim Pool was kind of gaslighting, because he was trying to be like, well, let's have a debate. We want to hear you out. Like, bro, at this point, you already know Kanye points, bro. We've been talking about this for over a month. You're a journalist. You know whether Jews work for him or not, or whether you did the research or not, because obviously we know he's supposed to be one of them dudes that normally do the research. So I feel like it would have been easy to fact check to see the type of people that work for him and shit like that. So when it came to that, it felt like, honestly, it felt like Kanye kind of won, like in a sense of like the media or things like that. Because if you look at the chat, it felt like Tim Pool kind of was just like on the same thing everybody else was on. And what I really wanted to say, it kind of was neutral, because he kind of walked off. You kind of didn't really get to see it play out all the way. But besides that, bro, it was just,
But even the thing too, like what he walked out on is, he said they, and Kanye was like, who is they? And then Nick Fuentes hopped in. It really is them though, right? And he's like, well, I just don't use that word how y'all use it. Like, what the fuck are you doing? It wasn't like no hard pushback. It wasn't like, no, Kanye, you need to say this. It's like, bro, I'm just like, I don't say they how y'all say they. Y'all say they, and to say it's the Jews, I say they, and I say corporate media. Now, whether you believe corporate media is the Jews or not, that's, whatever. But like, I say it this way, you say it that way. It's two different ways to say it. Yeah. But most it's like, why you get mad about that? But it's because he just wanted to go on there and he just wanted to say whatever he wanted to say, and have nobody say nothing to him. That's not a show. If you go on my show, I'll let you talk. But if I don't agree with something, I'll be like, oh, no, I don't agree with that. Like, yeah, I get that your personal experience or whatever, but like, I still don't agree with that in my own thing. And I think for Kanye, it is not that, because I see you saying like, oh, it's not a debate, but I was like, that Nick Fuentes guy, he can go on shows every day of the week and debate his ideas of how he feels about Jewish people, this and that. That Milo guy came, I was like, maybe for Ye, it isn't an idea thing, it's like just his personal live life. So it's like, I'm not debating my personal live life. Now, Nick might debate his ideology of why he think the Jews should do this or that. And maybe he could just debate that all day long. But maybe for Kanye, he's like, oh, I'm just talking about my life, essentially. So like, it's not up for debate. But regardless, he left. That was a big story at the time. But salute to Vicky for noticing the improvement in the visual. Salute. We ain't seen you in a while. We don't know where you've been, but salute. You're back. But yeah, so today, Alex Jones. So I seen the little thing. Alex Jones hopped on another guy's shows on his network. So, hey, Ye is touching down at the airport in a couple minutes. He'll be on the show within a half hour. He went on the show, and the shit proceeded to go left. So I don't know where you want to hop in at, what you want. I mean, I guess the only thing, the title of the video is Kanye West destroys his life with love for Hitler. I think that's the only thing you really hop into. Is the Hitler thing.
The hill he's choosing to die on, to me,
is crazy.
Very idiotic. Very idiotic. Like, for the longest, I was making videos supporting him, getting his side of the, understanding his side of things. And on this one, bro, it's just like, at this point, you pressing the button, you hitting the hornet's nest, and I don't even see a reason why. I mean, I know you say DEF CON and you trying to get your revenge and stuff like that, but it just seems stupid, bro, at this point.
Yeah.
To attack it this way. I mean, like we can go up and down and talk about Jews, and I feel like he had some support when it came to actually having a conversation on whether they had power or whatever or not. But when you start going into the Hitler conversation and he was right and shit like that, it's like, ain't nobody gonna be trying to hear you out, bro. Like I just don't get this hill, bro. I just don't. But you know Nick Fuentes and things like that. So I'm gonna let you get into it because maybe it's something to do with that. But I don't get the dying on the hill.
I feel like it is that. I've been saying since the beginning. I feel like these white dudes who have been canceled are using Kanye West to further their movement, to further their political agenda. And like I said, I don't mean to call him really an idiot, but to be a useful idiot for these guys. You a big brand, big name. You're gonna drag me along to these places, that places. And that's essentially what I see him doing. Because you got to think of the progression of Kanye's conversation about the Jewish shit, right? At first it was like, oh, the contract, show the contracts. It was, where the fuck the price go? Where the price go? We got technical difficulties already going on here. What's going on? But anyway, my point is, I talked about it today. Okay, he back. He got that 3.5 gigabyte internet. Anyways, like I was saying, I think it's their ideology, right? I think it's what they're using him as a person to kind of like, even like Kanye even said in the interview today, he said, I'm the battering ram. We're like a SWAT team. I'm the battering ram. I'm going to blow open the door, and then y'all are going to come in behind me. That's how he essentially sees this dynamic between them. And yeah, they'll be happy to use Kanye as a person to get them talked about on mainstream news, push their ideas to mainstream people, to get on these shows, with sit in front of it. Like even the Milo guy pretty much confirmed it, right? So I was reading an article today, and then he was like, I planned to implant Nick Fuentes in Trump in Kanye's circle, and then knowing that he was going to go have dinner with Trump because I knew that this was going to blow back on Trump in the media. So it's like, okay, I'm going to use you, then I'm going to get Nick Fuentes canceled, put him with you, Kanye, to sabotage Trump. It's like, I don't think these people really got love for Kanye. I don't think they really care about Kanye at all. I think they care about using him to push their agenda. And even the way Kanye was speaking, what my main point was, when you first heard him talk about this, right? It was on, he's I'm gonna go DEFCON 3 on the Jews. And that was all pertaining to music industry type shit, right? Like contracts, managers, who runs touring, all these type of things, right? And now you see he's moved on to more foreign things. He's talking about Israel. He's talking about Zionists. He's talking about all these things that we never heard Kanye say before ever. That's obviously influenced by these people. He's hearing them talk about all the time, and now he's kind of parroting them. Even if you watch Alex Jones' interview, Alex Jones asked him, I don't want to say like a complex question, but probably a more historical question. He'd be like, I'll let Nick answer that one. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't really know, but he's just kind of saying these words they're saying, and it kind of runs with his, well, I don't really fuck with the Jewish people in the industry, so I kind of don't fuck with them in the historical aspect of them as well. So
it just comes off so idiotic, man. And to prove your point further, he said it in the Tim Pool thing that he's always kind of had a handler, and he kind of admitted to like saying that when you be whatever age you become a celebrity is essentially when you stop growing up. And he said, I don't know what age it was, but ever since then he had his mom and he had many other handlers. And if that's the case, I could never really think of a time when Kanye thought for himself personally. And well, I ain't gonna say completely out his whole life, but when it comes to some of these things, it's like, how do we know who's Kanye, who's not at this point? And what really makes it even more of a question is when you start seeing people that's never really had a connection to him can easily come in and influence him. It's like, if you're that easily influenced and you've always had handlers, or let's say you've always been like tied to fucking Adidas or trying to impress them, it's like, when have you ever actually been thinking for yourself?
Yeah.
Or I don't know, man. It comes off so crazy because, like, I was asking you, I'm like, who are these dudes? Like, these aren't like some significant dudes that's like, that's really known or really created a presence for themselves. I'm not saying they're insignificant, but they're like some YouTubers and shit like that. It's like, how are you letting them guide the ship of this mega brand? Like, that's just because crazy.
Because you fall once you fall into the cancel vortex. Like, when you can't be on nothing, when everybody's ostracized you, where do you think you're gonna turn to? You're gonna turn to the other outcasts. Like, this is all we got. It's kind of like Peter Pan and them. Like, Peter Pan and them and went to Neverland. It's like we rolling with Neverland. But typically the only people that are canceled are these kind of, at least people that are loud about it are these people. So you got like Sneeko. Sneeko was behind the scenes at the Alex Jones thing. It's like he's got this mass collection of outcasts, and like he said, I'm the battering ram for Sneeko, Nick Fuentes, this Ali guy who was there with them, and it's
He's
like
a joke, bro.
Owen Benjamin, and like it's like
a joke. Because even what you saying, like even if that was the case, he only has a certain amount of bro. There's plenty of black people that's been banned and blackballed that you can go to, including fucking Farrakhan. But you pick white dudes that's nationalist or fucking whatever they may be. Like, it just like out of all the people you could have surrounded yourself around during times like this, bro, it's just stupid. And then, like you said, he ended up going to these topics he never did, and I feel like that's another part of his his idiocy, because it's like when you mad at somebody, right, and you have a certain like narrative and points that you're trying to get across to people, like, hey, these people are messed up. People may believe it or whatnot. Then you start to pull historical stuff and pull up like, oh, why these people has always been bad. And I feel like this is how he getting into this like this rabbit hole of now it's like going into the Hitler bag and shit like this that really stem from him trying to defend himself and against, you know, the Jewish attack in the beginning. But it's like, bro, you at some point, bro, you have to. I don't even know. I gotta say, put a leash on it, but not even put a leash on it. Be smart, bro. Like even with his Hitler point, what he was trying to say was everybody has something good about them. When you look at logic, yeah, I mean it makes sense.
Like logically that makes sense. Like when you watch,
was it something okay once in life?
when you watch The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, right? The dude was like a Hitler. He was like a Nazi captain or something. Like, yeah, he's at home. He's a family man. He loves his family, but he's also like you can say about anybody. You can say General Mao probably loved his kids, probably loved his immediate circle. You can say Stalin loved his family. You can have these qualities about people, but it's like to die on that hill, even to be like, you know, he created the highways, and he created what else he say he created the microphones or whatever. He didn't create these things. He was just empowered when these things were implemented. Now you can say he pressed the button on allowing the engineers to partake in building these things. Yeah, but it's like that's like, but my thing is that's your thing. Like he created highways. Like it's like you know,
nigga. What's the North Korean dude?
Kim Jong-un.
He hit a hole in one 7 times. He created
in
the
a row.
burrito. Like
he created burritos, hot dogs. He did all kind of crazy shit over there in North Korea.
He said he had created. So even like you said, he might have helped, but to say he created the microphone, like that probably some black dude somewhere.
Like, okay, the Jews, the 6 billion Jews and the 5 million non-Jews, 11 million people total. That okay, he created the microphone though, Bryce. Like come on, the microphone. Like come on, bro. Like what do you?
It's just
you can't
like
say that.
It's
and like I also my bad, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I also get like it's like the thing with Kanye is we all know this. Kanye is not a good orator. He's not a good of being able to, you know, speak and really do his thoughts out there like that. So like you can see also he's trying to do the Christian thing, like, you know, oh well, God loves all people, and so I love all people. Like at the end of the thing, he was like, "There's like, do you love Hitler?" He's like, "Yeah, I love Hitler. I love the Nazis." Then Alex Jones was like, "Do you love Jeffrey Dahmer?" I love Jeffrey Dahmer as well. It's like he's trying to do that Christian thing where it's like you love everybody, but it's like when off the back of your other comments about Jewish, it just isn't. They don't collide correctly, especially when you just have clips flowing around on Twitter. Because I watch like majority of the shit in the full context, not even just the Twitter context that you see. And it's like, it's always going to be an off-putting thing when you do that. Now, me and you spoke about, look how when I said that one time, I said, if I found out my grandma, like we were talking about cutting off family members, right? And I was like, if I found out my grandma dated Hitler, I'd be like, that's dope. But how I even said that, like, that's dope. Like, not that it's cool, but it's just like, it's a historical, you know, situation. But I still got a lot of shit in the chat or whatever for. But for Kanye, I think too is like he's looking at what is the most, because even Alex Jones kind of called him out of it, but he said he wasn't doing it. What is the most provocative thing I could say that's going to continue to get people talking? And that's it. That's a clear provocative thing. I like Hitler. He even went on to even say like factually it was incorrect that Hitler killed 6 million Jews. Like, he went on to say that. Like I said, I'm not a Holocaust historian. I know that's a number that estimated at that because obviously there's no actual wartime tracking of the numbers of it. But let's say it wasn't 6 million. Let's say it was 4 million. Let's say it was 3 million. Like it's still millions of people, regardless of what number you kind of want to throw out there and land on. But
yeah,
I just don't get this being the hill for him. I honestly think them cast out some outcasts. I feel like they just found them a sucker. Like this is the biggest sucker they could have found. And like I don't even want to blame it on the mental health, like because that's just so cheap to me. It's easy. It's mental health. He ain't on his meds. It was like you also got to think like maybe who knows? Because mental health is a real thing. People really do go through this bipolar manic episodes. But I don't know.
When the last time we felt like Kanye was just had it together?
I don't know, because always he pop out whenever album mode. We always know album coming or some shoes dropping. He'll just say some shit and he'll go away for a couple months, then he'll pop back out again.
But I'm saying like on some like he's always been kind of irrational and stuff like that. I'm just trying to figure out like has he not been bright this whole time and we just like it went under our radar? Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
because
and this but this is the point that got. I don't agree with some of the beliefs of the Mustache Man either. I can explain it though. Just like I can value Barack, but I know the innocents that died during this. I saw he tried to do that. He tried to say, Barack killed Palestinians, which like I'm not even gonna disagree with. Like I'm gonna say, yeah, during wartime, he just sent some drones over there. Like Biden just killed innocent people in where we just leave Afghanistan. They claimed that we killed the people that bombed our people as we were leaving, but no, he actually killed a family of like 10 people. So like that is true, but the difference between Barack, I mean, maybe you'll say, but like. Think about the government is we know the president doesn't really run shit here. If you actually look at the history of Nazi Germany, like he cultivated an entire society of that. Like he manufactured that into an ideology, a thing. The Hitler Youth, we're gonna raise these children to be like this, hate Jews.
Well, I don't want to dismiss America.
I'm dismissing the comparison between Hitler and Obama. The American system is already something that's created. We place figureheads here and there. Hitler's was I created an entire regime, the Third Reich, into something. Now, if Obama swept in and changed all, like Hitler pretty much wiped out the entire German government and installed his own. That's a different than, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm just saying.
My only difference would be like, well, we just had different figureheads, but the American system still does the same thing that Hitler did.
But yeah, we talk about America's. I'm talking about singling out Bush. One president or the other. Like, because we can single out Trump, we can single out Bush. Like, these are figureheads. I'm talking about somebody who actually comes in and creates their own thing, top to bottom. I run the judiciary. I run this. I run that. Now, if you talk about the American government as a whole, that's a different. We're going to compare American government to Hitler.
They're just as evil to me. I'm not.
I mean, like I said, that could be debated, but I'm saying like compare Barack Obama to Hitler is like two completely different.
Not
things.
To me.
I mean, but how could you like tell me how you see that? Someone who creates something, or someone who's implementing.
He literally killed somebody that implemented slave. Like he killed Gaddafi, which had control over Libya. Once he died, Libya went into
shit and slavery.
And then people from the outside that he was protecting Libya from came in and started enslaving, and all this other shit started happening. Like that's thousands of millions of lives. When you talk about seeds of people that has to go through that. When he was a person, when Umar Gaddafi. He was potentially going to save these people's lives and generations of these people. Now they potentially going to.
So when you say he killed Gaddafi, you mean like he led to the destabilization? They led to the destabilization of it.
Yeah, and they came up with the narrative and everything. Hillary was the main one. Obama signed off on it, but to me, they just as evil. And I know American military is a part of it. I know corporations and shit like that. I get what you're saying, but them niggas be having their hand in it just as much, and that's all I'm saying. Like they ain't no difference to me. You just subbing in. But
so your thing is not that we killed Gaddafi, because we didn't. I guess what you're saying is America, Barack, Hillary, they created the propaganda and they created the destabilization for the people of Libya to capture and kill.
Yeah, but I mean,
not through the streets.
Any war we started, any war that we had is similar to me, because ain't like we come up with a narrative to go into these places and then kill these people. And ourselves, our young people. Like when we talk about these leaders, like, hell no, fuck them niggas.
Trevor, your dick every episode.
What he said?
He said, "Look, this is the point where we need a new co-host." Man, there's so much history they can switch to the road. I'm not oblivious to history. We can talk about mass incarceration. We can talk about Japanese internment camps. We can talk about Native. There's a whole bunch of places. I'm not saying America's great whatsoever, but even. I can just take it away and just be like rational for reality. If you talk about Obama, nobody's really gonna. If you say you love Obama in the world, nobody's gonna be mad. Now you can go like, "Hey, should we be mad? Should we not be mad?" But if we're gonna talk about reality, if you say anything about Hitler, like you fried. Yeah. You say anything about Mussolini, Stalin, Mao, like you're fried. Like you say anything about Bush, certain places they'll be like, "Yeah, Bush is a warmonger," but like you still won't get that same that Hitler word and that like this is I'm talking about reality. Not even we could dig into the depths of American deception and war, but
I was just saying that for the people, but like I ain't letting off on them. It wasn't really even a response to you.
Well, I was really talking about flying lows and there's so much history. Like I'm not ignoring that, but I'm talking about the facts of just life. Most people, if you say I love Barack Obama, nobody's gonna say nothing on Twitter. They're not gonna say nothing on Instagram. They're not gonna do any of that. But if you got Hitler, you're gonna get killed for it. It may be. Oh my bad, you can go.
No, you can finish. It was gonna be off topic.
I was gonna say I was thinking about like his career because I always bring it back to hip hop because I feel like that's like obviously his home. That's how he got started. Like for his music career, do you think it's like that's done complete? It's a wrap. Do you think artists will work with Kanye after this? Do you think producers will want to put their name next to Kanye after this?
I don't know about all that, but over time I would say so. But my thing is, rap don't give a fuck about none of this shit. Like maybe
rap don't, but I feel like their publicists do, their label heads do, the people who get to press the buttons on. Yeah, you can work with him, or no, you can't work with him. I'm talking about those people, really. Those people that control the motherfuckers.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's gonna be the end of his career if he wanted, if people not wanting to work with him. Like Kanye gonna figure that out musically. Like he gonna find some up and young talent that ain't signing nobody. He gonna find some samples or some shit. He gonna do something. Like if we want to talk about him musically, if he wanted to keep pressing that button, bro. I see plenty of his fans still supporting him, and I know they still gonna support him after the Hitler shit because at the end of the day, we know he's trolling and he pressing a button. But at the end of the day, we know no one takes Kanye serious on that level. Like as much as he want to say that, like, bro, come on, bro. Nobody.
That was my thing too. That's my thing. It's like I don't think Kanye can ever be president because he's not a strong orator. Like you got to at least be able to orate like thoughts, and people got to take your thoughts and opinions seriously at some point. Like I don't know if there's ever been a time where I listen to Kanye and I'm like I don't know. When he talking about the porn shit, that kind of gave me like a new. We were talking about like, hey, these are people's daughters who probably was molested. Because when you look at the industry, sex industry in general, it always is typically a person who says, I was molested, I'm super sexualized, I'm hypersexualized now. It's like, when you do think about it, it's kind of how that goes. Now, I wouldn't compare it to pedophilia because obviously I'm not, beaten to a kid, but I kind of get, I see where he's trying to go with it.
But even to go past that, like, not being a good orator and stuff like that, it's like, bro, he don't be able to speak past like 5 minutes. He can't. I don't think he can stay on a topic. Like if you ask him something, he gonna like jump from topic to topic. Like outside of being a bad orator, like I really just think Kanye is not meant to be speaking in public. Like he's really an artist. Like when we talk about how artists are usually, what's that word called? There's the when you're vibrant and out, and then you're
introverts, extroverts.
Usually, artists are introverted. They're not talkative because they display their emotions and stuff through art. Like, I believe that's Kanye. When it comes to him wanting to express himself, he got to stick to doing it musically through clothes and maybe some other art forms. But him trying to be logical and because that's what the thing when it comes to debates and stuff like that or having conversations, it's like people are trying to get to narrow, straight points, and they don't want to be taking all which other way to get to that point because that's oh shit, I can fix that. You basically got a bunch of fat on your point instead of getting straight to the point. So I feel like that's some artist form of thinking, and why he's so creative, but at the same time, why he's also unproductive as hell.
I mean, I get that point for like Biden can't speak, but I mean, the thing about Biden is he was already handpicked by the Democrats, Democratic Society, Democrat media. He'd already been in the Senate for 50 plus years. He'd already been Obama's vice president. So at that point, he had so much experience, his name recognition, and then he was going against Trump. It really didn't matter if he could talk or not. Kanye is well known.
They hid him very well. They hid
him. They wasn't really trotting him out there.
Even when he did something wild.
And even when he did debate Trump, at that time, what I can remember, I could be wrong, but from what I remember, it wasn't like super horrible. Like when you see him now, and he can barely like put two words together. And then he won, obviously because of Trump. If there was somebody besides Trump that was Republican, they most likely probably would have beat Biden at that time. But it was Trump. People hate Trump. We already knew how that was going to go. And Kanye, too, at this point, I feel like even when you listen to Republicans talk about Trump now in 2024, speaking about 2024 election time, it's just too much chaos. Right? It's too much everything around him. Ye already isn't even like the 2024 hasn't even started yet. And he's already got so much shit around his name that I don't even believe people even want to go down that road again. Like, why would I want to go down the same road? Because it feels like I'm going down the Trump road. I got somebody that's erratic, just says whatever he wants to. Can you imagine Kanye West sitting in a, speaking to the Chinese leadership or speaking to any other world leader, speaking at the G2 summit, speaking at any of these events or things that we kind of need our president to be at? And like I said, yeah, we can talk about Biden not being able to speak or whatever, right? But at least well, he did fall asleep in the meeting, so that's no good. And I don't even think Biden. I'm not even trying to defend Biden. He's great, but I can tell you, Kanye and the presidential run, bro, that's just done. That's fine. Turn your mic towards you.
Y'all couldn't have been serious in the first place about him being the president, man. I don't know. Were y'all serious about? Did y'all really think he was gonna run and be like serious?
I never thought that it was gonna be a Kanye, a Kanye legitimate run in the preliminaries or anything like that. You can't twist it out towards you.
I think I might. Oh, I can twist it like that.
Yeah, I was like, "What are you trying to do? Get the hell down." Yeah.
My bad.
But anyways, you good. But anyways, that's what I mean. Like, especially when I'm thinking about mainstream Republicans and what they think. One, Ye is not going to get the Trump people who super support him. I feel like that's why he's kind of going down this road, because he thinks going on Alex Jones and doing these things. That's why he stayed on Alex Jones so long. I thought he thinks he could capture those people, but I just don't see him capturing those people. And then the mainstream Republican, the mainstream Republican Party, they're already gung ho for DeSantis. So where does that leave Kanye to get any votes? Like, unless the trolls, yeah, the people are like, oh yeah, Kanye, we love, like the trolls maybe, but it won't be enough votes in every state for you to win the Republican nomination over Trump or DeSantis. So it's like, and then to think that when he does, if he did win, he's gonna like, it's just, I just don't get it.
You're not that guy.
He's just being used by these people. That's all.
You're not that guy, pal.
He's just being used by these people. That's all I can really say about the thing. I think he's just being used, and I think he's fine with being used.
What do you think?
I saw that.
Do you think it's like mental? I know you said you're dumb, but do you think he's trying to self-destruct? Do you think he's actually he think he's smart? Like what do you think?
I just think he has a personal thing against certain people who happen to be Jewish. He got.
You think it's revenge?
He got in. I don't know. It's revenge. I don't know what he's gonna do. They already like clipping him.
Well, what he think he's like? He think he's going out on like a revenge tour, DEF CON.
I think he's thinking like, oh well, they've already taken everything. It's like they've already taken everything from me, so I'm gonna just say whatever. Because like, what else can y'all do to me at this point? He was in the interview with Alex Jones. Like, I used to walk down Malibu and like, what are the Clintons gonna do to kill me? I don't think the Clintons are worried. I think he thinks he's more important in the political worldview landscape than he truly is. I think most political people probably look at Kanye like, this is a former musician who's lost his fucking mind. I think people say they think he's a threat because I see one person like, he has 30 million followers. I still don't think them 30 million people that follow Kanye are like, I'm rocking with you. Like, I just don't. I don't understand
half that 30 million gonna be haters alone, just waiting on him to fuck up again. Like, let's be real.
And the other half probably still be like, oh, you bugging. Like, I fuck with your music, I fuck with your shoes, but like, you bugging. You bugging. Let me read these real quick. So Kanye's mental abilities are definitely deteriorating. I went back 10, 15 years to see if he was always incoherent and scatterbrained. He sounded brilliant and insightful in those. Now, I do see people blaming them putting him on drugs for the way he is, because they say that can mess up your brain by, doing whatever drugs they had you on. I've seen people saying, I'm not a pharmacist or anything like that, but that could be a reason to why he, quote unquote, would be deteriorating mentally at some point. But check DM, I saw that. He said Alex Jones, he's supporting Trump and not contesting him. Okay, well, so if the A24 shit's a rap, then I don't get the point of people. And if that's the case, yeah, it's cool. But I mean, I think that's where he said he was like, who's DeSantis and who's this? And even Nick Fuentes was like, we need a guy like Kanye to run because he's going to put Christ first. And he's going to put Christ back in America and put theology at the forefront of policy. And he's going to do this and do that and whatever that they would say he's going to do. So it's like I really don't know. I don't think Kanye knows what he wants to do. Because even when like you said, you had a scatterbrain, right? I don't know if you've seen this. He tweeted what I seen that, but Trail just sent it to me. He tweeted let's break one last window before we get out of here. I caught this guy with Kim. Good night. You want to guess who that guy is? Chris Paul. So to me, it feels like one, he's doing that to try to like, because media cycle it just runs right. So he's thinking, okay, all the Hitler shit happened. Let me throw this out there, and they gonna run with that shit. They gonna go to they're gonna go to the messy, because we do like the messy gossipy shit. So they're gonna move on to the messy gossipy shit. They're gonna kind of leave the Hitler, Alex Jones. They're gonna leave that alone. They're gonna go to this shit because why is that relevant to anything going on right now? It's not. It's just something else to say to get the more conversation and try to move maybe the media past this and go on to the Kanye and turning from a Kanye thing to damn Kim Kardashian is a bitch. Did she cheat on him? Did she like? What do you mean he caught her? Did you catch him recently after y'all's divorced? Did you catch him while y'all was together? It's like what's the point of dropping that?
So Kanye's officially off the deep end, is what we're saying.
And then the whole Chris Paul, even if he did, like say he owed you, he cheated on, he fucked your wife while y'all was together, or let's say he fucked her after. Why you dropping the bomb on that man? He got a family, he got 3 kids. Like why you doing that?
It's about Kim. It ain't
Chris
about
Paul ain't never said nothing about you. No, but they got a whole family. You think if his wife see that shit?
How Kanye look at it, he like, nigga, you fucking with my territory.
Well, then I look at you. I mean, I guess if that's like if he cheated on her with you, mother, you should have said something when it first happened. But maybe he didn't want to look like a cuck or an idiot. I mean, it's not your fault if your wife cheat on you. What the fuck are you gonna do about it? Especially you ain't around. But
no, he sound like he having a temper tantrum right now. Well, it's been going on actually since the Kim divorce and all this with the kid saga. And Pete,
that's where it started.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things about Kanye actions prove his mental state. Because I said, from the people he put around him that are just like you said, don't care about him and clearly just not great thinkers. It seemed like he ran off all the thoughtful people. He ran off all the people that probably cared about him. Because at this point, I don't think nobody can keep up with Kanye mental stability, man. Especially when he'll say some shit like, "Who are you to tell me some shit? I'm more richer than you." Like he probably richer than everybody he ever been cool with. So who he really gonna listen to? And then I also find it, like you said, you could tell that it's based around him not liking the Jewish people, but I find it funny that you'll listen to people like Nick Fuentes and shit like that, some basic YouTubers, when you said you wouldn't listen to like Piers Morgan has actually built the platform for herself. Not saying I like Piers Morgan, but I'm saying like, why would you give them more like credibility and want to listen to somebody?
Because on his downfall, those are the only people that welcome him with open arms. He's just like Trump. Trump. The reason why Trump get in trouble so much was like, oh, he's sitting down with this person. Oh, why is he? Because they're ego driven. So when they just want to be around motherfuckers that are like suck their dick, like people who are like, oh, you're the greatest, we love you.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
And let me just read it. I didn't say I wouldn't say nothing. I wouldn't say nothing however many years later. I would say it right then and there. Like, hey, Chris Paul's fucked my wife. I wouldn't use it as a stunt. Like he's using it as a stunt. Because he wasn't worried about saying there's no point whenever it may have happened. But now that it's conveniently whatever, it's a stunt. Like if my wife cheated on me with a guy, first of all, I wouldn't even go to social media. I'm not gonna be like, this is the guy that fucked my wife. Like I'm not gonna do that because I'm not a social media type of nigga. But I also wouldn't like say he fucked my wife in 2018. It's 2022. This guy fucked my wife. Like I wouldn't do that.
No, I know Flying Low. I know Piers Morgan is controlled. I'm just giving an example of there's plenty of people that's more experienced.
That don't make no sense.
More experienced and more smarter than Nick Fuentes and these dudes, but he's choosing to listen to them when he has clearly said before, I don't listen to people broken than me. Them niggas are substantially broker than you when it comes to money and brand and likeness. Versus there's other people out there, I'm sure, tried to help him. Going back to what D-Fran said, it's like, I bet there was people that was in his corner that cared about him and tried to say shit, but he felt like they were attacking him, and he only wanted the yes man that was around after his downfall, essentially. Because I'm sure it was people around him like, yeah, Kanye, I feel you, bro. I'm here for you. I know these people trying to blackball you, but or they might have also been like, maybe you need to filter yourself or chill out. And he like, nah, fuck y'all. What the fuck?
Yeah. You're trying to hold me back. Yes, you're just like that. Y'all trying to send me back to the institution. Like, I think he's like, I get it too. Because like, if you have been sent to the institution by people you trusted, maybe you are a little, weary of somebody else trying to send you to the institution. But you also got to know there's people that are just looking up for your best interest.
That's a personal thing though. Like the fact that you couldn't put no people around you that you trust by now. Like say one of y'all or any of our friends got to a level that they got big. It's like, you should have had people. You had people around you that cared about you from the jump. Like you shouldn't be scrambling 20, 30 years into your career trying to find stable people that's gonna, you're gonna move with throughout life and shit like that. Like that's just wild. Like it just don't make sense, bro. Come on,
let's look at the history of all Kanye's rants. Aren't they typically based around just somebody doing him wrong or him perceived to be done wrong, and he goes off on them? When he was going off on Jay-Z and Beyonce, they didn't come to my wedding. They're distance this over me. I go off on them. I don't know exactly around the slavery was a choice thing. Were black people was there something going on with black people and Kanye not fucking with him at the time? Was it something like that? I don't know. Why was he doing that? I don't remember what was going on at that time. Was he just going off, just saying shit? I don't remember at that time. I can't be exact.
That was the time when he was doing MAGA hats.
Oh, that was that time. Okay, so it was MAGA and black people was mad at him about that. So what did he do? He directed his thing towards. This is a pattern. It's a pattern of fucking activity with Kanye West. But I don't like when people talk about Kanye West's mama. I hate that. I was watching Michael Rappaport. He was like, "You fucking gimp." You know how Michael Rappaport do his little whatever. You fucking gimp, motherfucker. Da da da. Your mama will be ashamed of you. I hate when people bring up this nigga mama. Like you could just talk about him. Because like you said, gaslighting. I think that's gaslighting because y'all know he probably was deeply affected when his mama died. Who wouldn't be affected? And y'all just keep bringing up his mama. Your mama would hate you, or your mama would be ashamed. But stop bringing up that nigga mama. I hate that. I hate when people bring up his mama. As a thing, it's like to dish you. Like your mom would not agree with you. His daddy here and his daddy ain't. You know what I'm saying? If his dad was dead, y'all be saying the same thing. But his daddy here and his dad's like, hey, my son. I don't even know what he's saying to his son. He's saying, hey, you tripping sometimes, or you not, whatever. I don't know. But it's like, y'all don't know what his mama be doing right now.
Yeah,
it's because y'all know the history of his mama. And she was a black teacher in Chicago, and she was a part of. I don't know if he said she was part of Black Panthers or she was like an activist. Like that don't mean that his mama would hate him. Y'all don't know if his mama would hate him. She may be trying to guide him in a different direction, but that don't mean she'd be like, I hate my son. I'm gonna step out here and say fuck you. Like y'all don't know that. So stop saying that.
Yeah, she probably would have had him not saying the Hitler shit, but when it comes to Bush don't love black people, I'm pretty sure she was proud of him. I'm pretty sure she was proud of a lot of things. And he stood up when he was like, these corporations trying to fuck me, so I'm gonna walk off the stage. I'm sure. I mean, she passed by that time, but she wouldn't have been mad at him. I'm pretty sure she taught him to think how he thought, and that's why he became so fucking great. Most people are reflections of their parents, so I'm pretty sure she was a little radical herself. Like you can't say she ain't. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
But I don't like Rappaport anyways. He one of them dudes that get to say shit because people he's so irrelevant. He did fucked up shit and said fucked up shit. Nobody remembers. Like because he's so irrelevant. Nobody remembers him. But bro, you ain't shit, bro.
Chill. He was on Prison Break, bro. He was on Prison Break. He was a hoe on Prison Break. He was a double crossing motherfucker on Prison Break.
Man. He be
really
saying
but that goes
to give him the nigga card so bad.
That's really what it be. It's like they just like kind of hop back and forth with these conversations. But that goes to his point. He was in the industry at 24. Besides his mom being there, everyone else isn't in his betterment. So he will always have a trust issue.
I can't say everybody. I'm pretty sure Jay-Z would have guided him to do things business-wise better. And if I'm going to be real, it's like maybe he feel like Jay-Z like a sellout because Jay-Z wouldn't like voice his opinion versus certain shit. But how do you feel? How do you feel, different?
He went at Dave Chappelle. He said Dave Chappelle's a Zionist position black leader.
But I'm asking y'all on the moral level, and I pretty much know what y'all think, or I feel like I know what y'all think, but do y'all feel like it'd have been better to probably take a Jay-Z approach, be smart, keep making business moves, become richer, and keep your billions, or press the button and say, fuck it. And now you at 300,000, but you feel like you've been heard and shit like that. But at the end of the day, you've been raped financially. Like, what, like,
I think, like, I'm not, like, the whole contract situation, the entertainment, I'm not like, I feel like if he would have been better off, he would have stayed there. Like, they still was trying to cancel him and shit like that for being there and saying those things. But like, I feel like you could have had more push because a lot of people do, like, yeah, the Jewish people run the record labels. Like we pulled it up. Like, it's not like it's a fucking, mystery. But I think the two things that hold you back in these conversations always, whenever you bring these things up, they're going to bring up Hitler's propaganda, Hitler's, things to get Jewish people out of here. They're going to tie that to what you're doing and saying, even if you're not necessarily saying that, you're not saying that, hey, I think all you guys, I'm just talking about these high level people. They're always going to bring that back. So it's always going to kind of I don't say fall on deaf ears, but it's always going to be presented as anti-Semitic and whatever. So it's kind of a losing battle, almost. Even like I was like, maybe you get some artists together, and be like, hey, let's fuck it. Let's not say the Jews. Fuck it. Let's as artists, let's say we about to go at these labels. We about to go at these lawyers. We about to go at these what do you call people that do people money? The accountants. And we're gonna go. We're gonna like have a create a union to where these people can't fuck us no more. If you'd have been on that wave, on that type of revolution, I guess revolutionary quote unquote for entertainment, it probably would have went a different way. But once you start saying Jewish, that's when people start being able to hurl these accusations at you and do all this and kind of derail you. And that's essentially what happened.
You wanna put Flying Low comment up there?
Oh, let me see. Jay-Z, stop it. The guy who sold out the people for the Barclays Center, the guy who complaining he not getting the splits in his liquor deal, the guy who stepped on Colin Kaepernick's stance to make money, laugh emojis.
Nah, I used him.
But I don't think you bigged him up. He's playing the role. Like he playing like what most businessmen do. Most businessmen just turn a blind eye and they just do their thing, get their money for their family, they do whatever, elevate their life. That's what most people do.
And that's what I was gonna say, because at the end of the day, bro, somebody always gonna be trying to get their best interest in business. That's how business is. Whether it's a black man, whether it's a China man, whether it's a white man. So either you play the game or you complain and bitch and moan, because if it wasn't a Jewish dude, it was gonna be a black dude. We seen Birdman, we seen P. Diddy, we seen other dudes. They all practice the same shit because it's not even a bro. That's how people are, bro. It's like I'm above, I funded you, I do this, I need to see my money, and they gonna control shit. People get greedy. That's how it is. That's business. So at the end of the day, it's like, do you move better in business or you complain in bitch? And to me, you was in the 2 billions, bro. Like no one really could say anything to you. And at that point, bro, it really was semantics to me. Like you trying to get your point across, because bro, you got everything going. You a free man. Your life is good. Your money good, bro. You know them people ain't shit. But at the end of the day, you playing that game, you was risking some shit that you shouldn't even have to risk. Like it wasn't worth it. Because at the end of the day, what changed? What changed? Like Kanye did this whole rant, but the ADL still powerful. These dudes still at the label. So it's like, all you did was lose, bro. All they did was take your money. So it's like, you could have just played it smarter, built your shit up, got your industries, and just you could have played it a whole lot different. I'm just saying. Like, and that's the part. Every person that do business got to deal with that.
He had the opportunity to, first of all, he was already an owner of a label. He was already owner of a label. And they said Big Sean was saying he wasn't getting all his money. So it's like, you were still, like, even him, like, you kind of still dabbling in these practices of the label people, because that's what, you would do the same shit. You weren't giving all the people their money. You wouldn't do it, like, because you're the owner. You feel like you entitled probably to more. They don't deserve as much as they're supposed to probably get. So you was dabbling in these practices as well. So he's not like clean skin out the game doing these great things and things like that. But I think what Kanye is, if he really felt this way, he had a better impact of changing the system by being in the system. Because from what he said, Adidas over the next 4 years was in royalties was giving $500 million a year. You know what he could have did with that $500 million? He could create his own systems with that much money, like that. Because it's different from like having a network, like because network could just like disappear. Look at FTX guy; he had a $20 billion net worth. Now he ain't got shit because his net worth is tied up in his company. Kanye was liquidly, according to him, I mean after tax, all that bullshit, whatever, hundreds of millions of dollars, $2 billion before taxes, $2 billion liquid, not net worth, liquid, and now it's all gone. He could have created all kinds of shit with that. He could create his own if he wanted to really do it the right way. But my thing is for Kanye, it always. And like you just said, I get it. It's human nature. It's not even emotional. It's always about him. He can dress it up as I'm here for everybody. That's the way you do it if you want to get support. But at the end of the day, even the way he kept on Ari Emanuel, how do you feel about me saying I love Hitler? Ari Emanuel, like he's going after these high level people that we don't even fucking know. The head of WME,
their kids gonna be fine. Like nigga, they ain't
WME. There's no artist has left WME since this happened. They're still all signed to WME. It's the biggest agency in the world. Ron Emanuel, who's the mayor of Chicago, still there, and the other guy who was President Obama's chief of staff. They're all brothers. They all still living a rich ass life.
He's such an idiot. He's making their day doing this. He's such an idiot. He's making their day. They want to see him burn. Drake, one of my favorite lines in the last Drake album was my favorite line. Is the white boys assigned from the white boys assigned here? Because at the end of the day, that's the only way you can really win is getting these checks. And They want you to fuck up the money. They want you to do some shit where they could take their money back, and they don't gotta give you the guaranteed money like after they did it. Like they that's how they like to move, bro. They always trying to find a way to swindle you out and say, "Oh, this is why we don't have to pay for shit, but we can still keep your likeness." Like they be looking for shit like that. So when you do this shit, you making a day, bro.
My thing with this Von Low is like it's convenient to say that. Oh, he wasn't really the owner of good music. It was the Jews that owned it, really. Yeah, but at the end of the day, how they explain it is the money comes from above, it trickles down to the CEO, and then he disperses it at that point. Well, Big Sean's saying, Birdman, you still owe me money. Kanye West used to owe me money. Y'all get all that. Don't try to just take it on to the Jewish people, because y'all can say P. Diddy a hoe all day. Y'all don't just blame Jewish people. Y'all be blaming P. Diddy. But I want it to be convenient for Kanye because maybe people love Kanye or whatever. It still could trickle down to Kanye of him creating a good music contract. Unless you can say, unless he's just like you say, he's just a figurehead, incompetent owner. He don't really run good music. Well, shit, Pusha T, the president of good music. Is it Pusha T's fault that bad deals are going out? Or they're just titles and they're not running shit. They're letting Jewish people run their whole good music record label. That's
regardless, he can be absolved of accountability, because if he's inviting these artists into his camp with the idea it's going to be controlled by artists and be ran with the idea of how he pushed his career, and then at the end of the day he just a puppet and other people running it, that's manipulation. That's lying. Like that's leading people to something that they didn't sign up for, false advertisement. So at the end of the day, if that's what's happening and other people is controlling it, he made it seem like he was in control. And I really do think it is like what D-Friend said. And it's similar with Baby, when Sony had paid him the money and they said they paid him the money, and he was like, well, they ain't paid him money. But at the end of the day, they gave him the money and they ended up coming out for some more money because that's how valuable they felt Lil Wayne and Drake was. But yeah, bro, at the end of the day, these dudes be practicing the same shit, man. And it's not, I'm not saying these dudes are evil, bro. That's business, bro. If you're not smart with your lawyers and signing it before the contract and reading things through, that's on you. If you go into contracts and you mad about how long you signed the contract for, and you should have read up it and they don't want to re-up it, that's on you. Like,
that's all. If me and you signed a big podcast deal, right? I would now, even this, like, even if I say like, oh, well, we hired a lawyer and he read it. Oh, the lawyer fucked this. Like, I feel like you still got to kind of like look into what they say. Like, you got to sit down with your lawyer and then like, what does this mean? Just don't let. I don't think you should just let your lawyer read over and be like, oh yeah, sign it. Nah, let's read this bitch together. So when I have a question, I'm like, hey, what does this exactly mean? Like, I mean, you do a podcast deal and they're like, okay, we're gonna give you guys 3-year exclusive, 1-year option, and maybe plus additional 250,000. Wait, what does this mean right here? Oh, they own what? What does it mean? Oh, after 3 years, if they want to pick up the option, they get to own the podcast. Like, what do these things mean? And then I come up, we got fucked. They stole it. It's like, bro, that's your, come on. You gotta be, especially when you're grown at that point. If Kanye 24, maybe you get fucked in your first deal. But you shouldn't be getting fucked when you Kanye West 15 years in the game.
He wasn't. He got $2 billion. Even if he was,
no, he didn't get. He still complaining about music. He wasn't getting fucked by Adidas and made by Gap, and I'm talking about just music. He was still getting not as much money from music and his masters and royalties, whatever the fuck.
Bro, I understand it, but so is everybody else in the world, and you up $2 billion. Stop bitching. You played the game, and there's gonna be some L's you take, bro. Like you can't play a football game or a basketball game without turnovers. You can't play a basketball, football game without taking a loss. Bro, you're going to take L's in the industry, but the fact that you was a dynasty when it comes to a brand, bro, you got to eat that, bro. It's charged to the game. Like, so for me with Kanye, bro, that's why I said it's emotional, because, bro, you're up $2 fucking billion. And it was only going to increase significantly over the next few years. And it wasn't like it was, like, let's say you stayed on track, bro. You was going to come up with more ideas and more things, bro. And you could have branched off and did your own shit, but now you make these companies day, because you now down $1 billion and $7 billion and $7. Like, come on, bro.
You keep trying to bring it back to Jay-Z. The difference, you can bring up Jay-Z. Let's say Jay-Z's been complaining about business contracts. I don't hear Jay-Z. Maybe he raps about it. Maybe he puts in the music. I don't ever hear him publicly tweet about it, Instagram. And when I do, like with the Duce battle, what's he doing that in? He's fighting them in court to get his money. He's doing it the way they would do it. He's doing it the business way. So, yeah, he complained in contracts, fuck the yada, yada, yada. But he's not doing it the way Kanye's doing it. And people might look at it as, oh, well, Kanye's real. That's why he's doing it out loud. But you always see Jay-Z what we see. Maybe we see the good stories, not the bad stories. Most times coming out on top in these lawsuits because he's doing it that certain way. He's not doing it the same way.
Dave Chappelle didn't do it the emotional way. He got his likeness and back for, I believe it was the Chappelle Show and stuff like that. Got it off of HBO or something like that because you know how he went about it in a smarter way. He talked to the people, and they had it. They backed him up, and they end up dropping the show and giving it back to him. Versus like Kanye, bro, it's like even if you are gonna try to talk to the people and try to get us on your side, bro, like you gotta be sincere, man. And at this point, bro, we seeing through it, and that it's. I really can't defend him no more, man. I really can't.
And even like this point, the money's still gonna be the banks that are owned by Jewish people. It's like, motherfucker, at least you got the money. Now he ain't got the money. Now, is your argument that, okay, let's see what's going on now. Like, okay, he's saying that they're about to try to arrest him. Like, there's some tax evasion or tax fraud. They froze all his bank accounts. Like, if Adidas was able to freeze his bank accounts, was able to steal the IP of his shoes, and I still think it's kind of like drop you and then like still say his shoes because they're still business, but it's like if you want to denounce me fully, I think you denounce me completely and outright, right? But that just shows that there was something in that contract that Kanye was not reading to see that they had the ability to do these two things. So it's like, I don't know.
He took an L he didn't have to, man.
I never said Kanye's in the right. I'm just saying every artist in the industry is getting effed over, and I'm not going to say they should have just played their cards right when I know what it is. My thing, too, is like, how many people in the industry got to be fucked over for you to be like, okay, I'm not – what's going on? Like, I'm not going to be the one. Like, I'm not going to get fucked over. How many stories have fucked over them? And I guess you can say the industry, honestly, the industry is – what's the word? Not parasitic. It's very is it parasitic? I don't know what it's called.
It's a leech.
They're gonna go get a kid out the hood who got a song on YouTube that got 500,000 views, and they're gonna sign his life away for $100,000 because that kid's never seen $100,000 in life. And we could be like, oh, that's parasitic. Oh, that is a vulturous. That's whatever word you want to use. Like they're gonna try to get the most out of you for the less value because at the end of the day, business is about bottom line. Is it good, bad?
Even then, they still giving you an opportunity of a lifetime. They're giving you a platform and some more shit. So, yeah, we could talk about it being parasitic, and I do agree that a lot of these artists get fucked over. He's talking to somebody. I agree that the artists get fucked over. I'm not saying they should turn a blind eye to things, but at some point, these artists have to be smarter. Like, who do you blame if we know that these people has historically been doing this shit for years, but our big artists keep not doing anything. The small artists keep not doing anything. They keep playing the same game. Who do we blame? You got to blame the artists. And even then, let's be real. A lot of them get the opportunity that most of us have never gotten. Like, yeah, you get 100,000, but the potential to grow and be big if you just put your head down and do work is phenomenal. And yeah, you might not get your masters. But that's a part of the game. It's so much other shit you can do. Like to be rich. Like, yeah, you didn't get your masters. Yeah, that's tough. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. But you still can make generational wealth without the masters, bro. Let's not act like these niggas, like, yeah, they may go broke, and maybe they need the masters to keep them there. But bro, there's other things they could have did, bro.
Listen, I'm gonna blame the system. So what do you think about new artists who see shit going on and they surpass it? When you hear 21 Savage talk about, I was platinum before I signed a deal, so I had leverage when I went into the deal. I didn't sign away my shit. I still own my masters. I get in, I get out. When you see a guy like Russ giving people game, like, hey, do this, do that. He signed a deal, but then when he got out, he's still on his masters. Now he's independent, puts shit out there by himself. He shows, literally, he screenshots his independent whatever, making $300,000 a month off his music. Like, everybody can't do that. Maybe say Russ is white. Maybe say 21 Savage is just lucky, whatever. And I'm not even talking about taking advantage of the kids who just are just getting 100,000. Those people they're right for the picking. Like that's easy, easy money. I'm talking about people like let's say NBA YoungBoy. He been in the game. All the shit happened with him in Atlantic. I don't know what his new $60 million deal is, but if your NBA YoungBoy got fucked by Capital, he got $60 million, but he got quote unquote fucked over, and he starts complaining, and you just in a bad deal. Wouldn't you blame him after that? Like the first time, you got me, right? But the second, third, fourth time, like all right, bro, you kind of want to get got. at that point.
Can I? I'm gonna ask a question. Maybe this will change the language of the conversation. Maybe wrong. Maybe I'm just being. I don't have any empathy. What's a better deal? And maybe I'm picking the lesser two evils. What's the better deal? Going to college, getting debt, and hoping you're gonna make it, and never, even if you do make it, you didn't use the degree, or a 360 deal.
Depending on if you can work. You
taking a 360 deal, right?
Let's say it like this. Okay, if I go to college and let's say I'm spending $150,000 on something to get a degree, or they're gonna give me $150,000 for my podcast. They own it, but I can still work. I can still earn a salary, but I'm getting $150,000. I'll probably take the 360.
Your brand,
they'll take money from my tour. Like out of those two, which would I rather have? Probably the podcast deal.
You can create another podcast. You can create other outlets. You can do some streaming shit with gaming. You can do all type of shit. Like, yeah, they may got your name on that. But that's the thing, bro. So many white boys, so many boys I ain't seen, they'll create like a little Microsoft shit and sell it. And they like, shit, that shit changed my life. I just did other things and lived my life, was happy. Like some people, that's a thing. Like a part of American capitalism is you build up a business and hopefully you can keep it going for years. But if you real shit, sell that hoe and now you don't have to worry about
most people build business hoping to sell it. That's why they say everything is for sale. I've been watching this guy. He was like, he sat down with like multiple billionaires at this point. He was talking to him, like the guy who made Kinko's and sold to FedEx. He was like, I made it. And people's like, why did you sell? Why would you ever sell this business? He's like, bro, they offered me $1.5 billion. Why wouldn't I sell this? And that was $1.5 billion back in 2000. So I was like, that's a different $1.5 billion.
But they were like,
and he said he hasn't done shit since then. He said, I just been living life. Like he was like, I used to get mad. He's like, my ex-wife, she bought this damn like entertainment system. It was like $50,000. I used to be so mad when I owned Kinko's. When I sold Kinko's $1.5 billion, I started to like the thing because at that point, it's like, what the fuck? I got $1.5 billion. I got all this fucking money. If someone came, if we did this podcast for the next 5 years, if someone said like a Joe Rogan, people like, oh, Joe Rogan sold out for doing Spotify exclusive. Bro, they offered him $200 million. Why would he not do that? For something he do already for probably less than that. And he probably still makes hella money off the ads he get. Like, it's like, now the music thing, a lot of these guys who get signed to these deals, they don't work past the getting the deal. They get the deal and then they be whatever. Or they get signed to a deal when most labels probably know they're not going to make it. They just like, I want to get you just in case. Just in case you pop off. I don't know if you're ever going to pop off at all, but let's give you this 100,000. Let's even give you this 50,000. This is going to change your fucking life at the moment. And just in case you make it. You know what I'm saying? My camera about to turn off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. I'll be right back.
Yeah. And like I said, bro, you can become self-reliable flying low based on that 360 deal. Like it's a stepping stone. Like, and it's one of the best stepping stones that you really can get. And I get it. We do feel whole as a people when it comes to these people getting the upper hand. Like it's no different than an athlete. An athlete is really worth billions of dollars. Like LeBron contract should be $1 billion. Patrick Mahomes contract should be $1 billion. When you think about how much that brand really means to the NBA or that brand really means to the NFL. Like think about LeBron and how much he means to ESPN and how much almost 60% of their content is based around LeBron. He should be $1 billion. He should be getting $1 billion a year. But he technically don't. A little bit, yeah. He technically don't because obviously he's not an owner yet. But let's not act like he ain't got the stepping stones to be able to do this. And NBA players got the same conversation. NFL people got the same argument when it comes to not getting their just due. And I'm not arguing that it's not fair, but life ain't fair. But you still getting a bigger chance than anybody in life normally get. Like Big Sean said it to your point. He was like, hip hop is the biggest genre. I think like even if you combine all genres, it's still not competing with how big hip hop is as far as an industry and how much money it's making. But yet these artists are still getting pennies on the dollar. Yes, that is very unfair. But the pennies on the dollar when it comes to billions is still a lot to be able to use that as a stepping stone to be self-reliant.
Think about this. And I think this was recent. I think Governor's Ball happened this year. Everybody was talking shit about Roddy Ricch, trash. He fell off, yada, yada, yada. Did you see him talk about how much he gets paid for these festivals?
It's $500K.
$500,000 for a 1 hour performance. There's plenty of ways to make money out. Now, like I said, even if let's say that he got a 360 deal and they take 10% of that, they take 50K. It's like, bro, I'm still making a lot of money. These guys do festivals all year round. That's another thing why, like I was thinking about, I used to be like, man, these guys can't tour. They can't go on a fucking tour. They ain't got no fans. When I see that, why the fuck would I go on a tour? When all I gotta do is just pull up and get 500K, I ain't getting that much money probably going on a tour around the whole damn country. I gotta get on plane, go to buses, do all that. If I can say, hey, you're gonna go to Rolling Loud 3 times a year, get $250 each time. You're gonna go to Coachella, get however much you get paid for Coachella. You're gonna go to Governor's Ball. You're gonna go to this ball. I'm gonna go to
build your connections up.
I'm gonna go to 10 festivals this year. Let's say you pay I'm gonna get $5 million for going to 10 festivals. Why the hell would I go on a damn nationwide tour when I can just do shit like that all year? I'm gonna go overseas. I'm sure the overseas bag is way bigger than the bag that they get in America. So it's like, why would they do that?
You can do commercials while you in your prime. You could do all type of shit that bring money in constantly. You could do all type of cameos and shit. Like I said, you could do gaming. You could do podcasting. When it comes to the amount, like for like the hardest thing about
look at T Grizzly, he's making 100K a month.
The easiest thing about when you build your brand up, you literally can build so many things around that you probably never even thought of just because people love your brand. Like that's why for a lot of rich people or people that's famous, making a podcast is a go-to. Making streaming shit if you're young is a go-to because it's synonymous with your brand and people get to see you. So it's like it's so many different ways to make money, man, when you get that type of leap. And you don't even have to be uber successful, bro. Doing a bunch of shows, constantly staying in the studio, bro. You don't even got to make hits, bro, but you got to just keep being consistent, bro. At the end of the day, that shit gonna pop, bro. But like D-Friend said, a lot of them dudes don't do that. They get comfortable. Like I think a big dude that was even crying and breaking down recently was what's the singer that old Drake Money, he made him sing.
Oh, you're Wyckoff Osiris.
Yeah, he was breaking down because how much money he had spent and how fast the money came in. And I get it. That's a common trope. You think it's gonna keep coming in that fast, but I think what's even worse than him spending that money fast is I think he really slowed down because he got comfortable.
He didn't make another. I'm gonna give you the world. He's like, oh shit, I got this hit, and I'm gonna ride it out. Yeah. And then once you can't make another hit, you be fried. Like I said, I'm not saying, hey, artists, let them screw you over. We already said, like, hey, at a certain point, you probably shouldn't be getting screwed over and over again. I ain't gonna lie, if I was a big podcast, right, and I was going to sign a deal, and I was looking at the deal, I would like to go, you know what? I'm gonna go talk to people who did it before me. If I got the relationship with them, I'm gonna go talk to Joe Budden. See, hey, what happened with? Okay, they're telling me this. Okay, even regardless if I think Joe Budden did it right or not, but he has some type of knowledge of what deals look like. I even academics signed a deal with Spotify. Hey, bro, what's this? Hey, Charlamagne, you own an actual, like, so what this mean and how this, what IP this and that? Like, you got to go and talk to the people, and then, kind of you got to have a team around you that's going to help you with that. Now, what would be my goal? My goal would be like Adam 22, DJ Vlad, and not have to do that and just have my own shit and just make money off whatever. But at the end of the day, because people look at that as selling out. People look at doing your own thing like Vlad and No Jumper. That's cool. Like, they look at that as great. But as soon as you signed it, like, I'm gonna sign over to Spotify. I'm gonna sign over to Apple Music. They look at that selling out, but it's like if they're gonna offer you $60 million, like the white girl from Call Her Daddy, if they're gonna offer me $60 million to go exclusive with them, like why would I do that?
These people have no concept of understanding how business work. They want to get rich and have lump sums of money, but they don't understand how you get that. People invest, people buy into you. People like, come on, bro, you have to. I mean, even Vlad said and deals like that's just a part of the game.
Vlad said he had a number that he would sell everything, his whole catalog to everything. So, like I said, you're creating that business, building that brand, building that catalog to be sold.
Mr. Beast was talking about it, and I forget the dude name. The dude I showed you with the Antonio Brown interview. He was talking about Mr. Beast and how they was talking about buying his stuff for like $1 billion or something like that.
Oh, you're talking about Valuetainment.
Yeah, Valuetainment. And they were saying how is that crazy or not? And then he did the numbers, and after he did the calculation, he was like, man, he probably worth $8 billion just off what he brings to YouTube right now on analytics. Like when you talk about how much he makes and all that, like he already worth $8 billion. If somebody give him that, you think he's not taking it? Even though he built that shit up, he wanted to be his. He probably still can run it, even if he got $8 billion. I'm sure they would still want him to be the figurehead. It's Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
The main dude leaving will kind of cheapen this $8 billion what it's worth. So he still probably can run it. He can get $8 billion. I'm sure they're gonna pay him while he's still running it. So it's like that's just how shit work. And say like you do have a business and you want it to go public, bro. Once it go public, now you have investors that have a say so on your company, anyways. So at some point, either you're gonna stay small and be self-reliable, but even then you're gonna have to rely on the customers. Like that selling out shit, bro. It just speaks to like when it comes to that type of conversation, people don't know.
I feel like that too. Just speaking of media, right? Just speaking of media, like that shit's cool, right? Like I said, no jumper, just being on YouTube and whatever. That's cool, right? You're getting paid by YouTube, which is finicky because you never know when you're gonna get the yellow money sign. You never know when you're gonna strike. But I got a strike. I got it on my new channel. I just created. I already got a strike on that channel because I was reacting to that. I was reacting to that dude getting beat up on no jumper. And it wasn't even like a brutal beatdown. It was kind of like you kind of like barely even in the camera. They was like, oh, violence or whatever. Strike. It was a warning. But I'm like, goddamn, I just started this fucking channel. I got a strike. What happens if your shit get clipped off YouTube? But if I can sign a Spotify for 60 million, I got a safety blanket now. I got a safety net. YouTube isn't a safety net. YouTube could be here today, gone tomorrow. YouTube could strike a channel and you could be gone. Oh, well, you got Patreon. Like, that's cool. Yeah. Self-funding by fans, all that shit's cool. But at the end of the day, you gotta want a backing to where you don't gotta worry about if this whole shit, because you don't own YouTube. You don't own that platform.
The thing with like
now, well, my bad, because an argument would be, well, Spotify could drop you. I mean, yeah, they could, but contractually, I'm sure there's something in there that's like, I'll put something in there contractually, like, hey, if you do drop me, you still owe me this money. Same thing like that girl that worked at NBC, Megan Kelly. She said, why is her on to do backface? She got dropped from NBC that like the next week. But you know what? She had something in her contract that said, I still will be paid the $50 million y'all owe me. She still got paid the $50 million. Yeah, she's not on NBC no more. She got her own show she do on YouTube, and she got a $50 million check. But you better make sure, if you talk about controversial shit, you sign on these places, make sure you sign something like that to where, I think even Charlamagne made that point. He said, hey, I know I get into a lot of shit. I know I get whatever. And my contract it states, if I get dropped for anything I say, I can still.
Happened with Deshaun Watson shit. That's why he got a guarantee.
That's why it's just guaranteed.
He like, I know I can sign this contract. Y'all can just let me go, even though y'all have nothing to go against.
Yeah, I'll guarantee, motherfucker. Y'all can give me that money. But I got some new people in the chat. I said, call them. But I can't wait until Ye brings his new goose step and dance moves to the masses. I don't know what that means. Is that racist?
No.
What does that mean?
Saying like his next antics, essentially.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I was like, that racist. I don't know. I don't know why, but I feel like this is a troll. You're talking about Ye? I'm not sure. Maybe y'all are watching like the beginning and y'all are coming in. You know, maybe y'all like commenting on what we spoke about.
Well, yeah, I feel like what Drake do is a perfect example. He'll do like a 5-album deal with Apple and get 500 million, and it's like, all right, this is basically I'm signing a contract for a 2 or 3 year period, and once that's done, I'm a free agent again.
Yeah, and I'm up.
That's essentially how you should move, and I couldn't imagine someone calling that selling out, but yeah, and it's no different than these people. It's like when they get a new deal or whatnot as a youngin, it's up for them to do good, and when it's time for them to be a free agent, hopefully get re-signed.
Bro, I see podcasters are scared to do ads. Like because they think their fans like, oh, y'all don't want them to get money. Like, bro, if somebody present me with an ad, we're gonna be on this bitch. Take a break from the show. And this episode is sponsored by.
I feel like that adds to the quality.
This Spotify ad is by Hogwarts Cups. Get your local Hogwarts Cups, your local Burlington Coat Factory, $2.99 off, whatever. Like
I feel like when people see you doing ads, they're like, oh, these niggas nice, or these niggas big,
big time.
These niggas big.
That's what it is too. That's what it is too. All this media shit is all about perception. People want to see. They want to follow people who they think everybody else likes. Now, salute to all our loyal Flying Lows, Trails, Charles, Vicky, whatever y'all hear when we ain't got 1 million followers. But a lot of people only jump on the shit when they see other people are watching the shit. Like if your video got 1 million views, it kind of makes me like, why this video got 1 million views? I'm gonna tune in this shit as well. That's the back and forth with that type of shit too. But
anytime I see somebody got ads, I'm like, oh, they
you on. And then I look at how many viewers you got. I'm like, you got ads. You only got like 3,000 viewers. Oh, if I can just get a couple of, okay, I can get into this little, okay, I see how this move right here. But just to top the Kanye shit with a bow, we got to move on. Any final Where do you think it's gonna go from here? Do you think Alex Jones was the peak, and now it's just gonna like? Because what other show can he do that's gonna get that much notoriety? What else? I was thinking, he was in Austin. I was like, maybe he goes to Joe Rogan. I'm thinking Joe Rogan's probably trying to stay away from that at the moment. I'm like, what else can he do?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna be a little quiet for Kanye for a while, but I don't think it's gonna be quiet for too long, knowing him. I think he's a significant brand to America or to entertainment America. Same with like Trump, and if they do something, it's gonna get views and
He already
clicks
did Piers Morgan.
It's gonna get views and clicks from the average public. So if he do something, they'll talk about it. But I hope it's nothing too crazy, and I hope he starts to get back focused on like music and stuff like that. But or not even music, just him and maybe his clothes, whatever it is. But stay out of just
I want to see Kanye West doing what truly
world.
makes him happy, man. I just want you to be happy, man. That's all. Now, if this makes you happy, I don't understand why, but I mean,
fighting the world just gonna drain you, bro. Especially a world that's want to see you down and want to see you drown, bro. It ain't worth it, man. It's a losing cause because at the end of the day, they still gonna be here eating. So do what's best for you, your family, and fans.
I cooked them on I don't think you did. I don't know where you think you did. It's hard for me to ever think a commenter cooked me when you gotta get on and like talk. I gotta hear your voice. Like I gotta, you know what I'm saying? It's easy to type. It's easy to type, but I gotta hear you talk. I gotta hear you orated. If you ain't orated, it don't count. But I don't know if you're talking about us. I don't think you cooked this at all. I don't think like your point didn't really distract from none of my points, or you know what I'm saying? I think it was kind of rolling. But I do want to talk about this. My Spotify rap came out, y'all. My Spotify rap. We gotta say if I'm walking it like I'm talking. I was capping all year. We do gotta talk about that. So we done with Kanye. We don't know what happens with Kanye next. Just bless. Is he tweeting still? I think he's still tweeting. Look, see that, but now everybody is talking about the CP3 shit. Everybody went to CP3 memes and all this type of shit. People just talking about CP3. Then white people ain't talking about CP. Oh, he got suspended.
Cool.
Kanye.
From Twitter.
I think Elon Kanye has been suspended from Twitter. Now they about to start killing Elon. I thought you were a free speech warrior. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Hey, man, when you start saying you support people that
they clipped them quick,
genocidal,
they clipped them quick.
I can't really support you because it's no different. If a motherfucker was like Willie Lynch was, he was influential, so you really can't hate him. Like nigga, what? I can't.
They clipped him. It's crazy. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that. It only getting canceled only furthers your like underground support because they're like, look what they did to him. They did this. They don't care. It's like kind of like a badge of honor to some of them people. But what was I gonna say? Oh, my Spotify shit. Hold on.
He want to feel like a martyr.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyways, Spotify Wrapped happened. I got Flying Low. Flying Low with all his Drakeness, his number one artist was Drake. So he's like a closet. He's a Drake hater, but he's also a Drake.
Wait, Flying Low?
Flying Low.
Oh, I thought this nigga said War Dude. No, Flying Low was a closet Drake fan.
His most listened to was Drake. Let me turn it down.
Flying Low. Say it
ain't so. Say it ain't so.
Now. I gotta see Charles now. We gotta start putting.
This is my top song. This is my top song of the year. Where the fuck it go? This is my top song of the year right here. Puffin' on Zooties is my top song of the year. Let me just go to the end. I think the end's where they do like your little thing. Might just read it off
for me.
So my top artist was Drake, obviously. My number 2 artist was Future. Number 3 was Dirk. 4 was Lil Baby. And 5 was DJ Khaled. My top songs was Puffin' on Zooties, God Did, Wait for You, Keep Going, and What Happened to Virgil. Which I thought I listened to a lot more different shit, but when I think about it, I mostly listen to music when I get in the car. and I'm only going on maybe like 15, 20, 30-minute drives. So I typically just put on the shit I really like. So that it kind of makes sense why those are my top songs. But, you know.
You want to hear my YouTube one?
They make a YouTube one too?
Yep, I got one on YouTube.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, just the first year. Top artist Drake, obviously. Future, Lil Wayne, Lil Baby, Lil Durk. Top tracks, I can't do that one because that was instrumental. Fair Trade, Sticky, A Keeper, and Falling Back. My top tracks. All damn near Drake. Everything was Drake, and 3 of them was never mind.
Drake didn't even enter like a solo Drake track didn't enter my top 100 until like number 15. Like my top 100 was, I'm not gonna name 100, but I named like top 20. Puffin' on Zooties, God Did, Wait for You, Keep Going, Lil Durk, DJ Khaled, Roddy Ricch, What Happened to Virgil, Lil Durk, Gunna, Ice Talk with 42 Doug, ESTG. I told y'all ESTG, 42 Doug, Ice Talk was whatever. Love You Better by Future, Staying Alive, Drake, Lil Baby, Aha, Lil Durk, N95, Kendrick Lamar, which is, I listen to that again and again and again. That's a great record. Whatever we say about Mr. Morale got some records on there that I really fuck with. But anyways, Push and P, then Forever, which is on the Lil Baby album with Friday. Cooped Up, Post Malone, Roddy Ricch, Gold Stacks, Sticky with Drake. That was the number 1 Drake track I listened to this year. And then Churchill Downs, Super Gremlin, another Post Malone record, In Too Deep by Drake and Future, which is obviously last year's Certified Little Boy. But that's how it goes. But Drake number 1. I don't know how Drake's number 1 if he's not even in the top. I would think Future would be number 1 if, Future is more of my top. But
that's hilarious.
Maybe because Drake's on Wait for You, they're kind of weighing that into it, and I don't know. But think about that. But think about that. Future is my number 2. I would assume by these being the top songs that Future's album would be my number 1. Maybe what's the name? Khaled would be number 2. I was destroying Future's album when it came out. I said, Future ain't got it. Future is this. And then, I sat down, I listened, I just enjoyed, and Future came out on top, man. So now we do the awards. I can kind of like do it a little, because we're doing the award show here. We're doing the award show. We are going to do the award show. We need to get that set up. It's already December 1st. Maybe do that maybe right before Christmas. So we need to get that all set up. We need to get the nominees and do all of that. The one thing I don't like about Spotify Rap, I don't like that they don't do your top albums. They just do your top songs and top artists. I like that Apple does like what albums y'all listen to the most. I kind of like that. But there was no Her Loss on here because they stopped theirs October 30th. And I think Her Loss came out like after that point. I think Apple, they just do their shit all the way up to right before they give y'all niggas list. Wardu showed me, or he tweeted, he listened to Her Loss 342 times already. I'm like, God
Mine
damn.
was pretty up there. Mine's already number 3 listened to album.
Like that shit just came out. I'm sure if Spotify added that, it would probably be high on the list. But still, like 342 times, like goddamn.
That's crazy.
That's a lot. But that's my Spotify Wrapped. So you want to get to another controversial conversation before we get about here? It's already midnight.
Yeah.
You want to get into Big Jerry Jones, big segregationist.
Yeah.
How do we go about this? Do we go about the new narrative around it with LeBron James, or we go just from the beginning, Stephen A. Smith?
We can start from what LeBron said because I feel like that's the most significant thing as far as like what LeBron said. We'll get into that first. He was like, I find it funny that no one's asked me a question about how I feel about Jerry Jones in the picture versus the Kyrie, or when you think about LeBron, any of the multitude of topics that really don't have to do with basketball that they ask him, but for some reason, no one asked him about Jerry Jones. And what he really saying is how much that speaks to the lack of intensity around
white
this. Or Jerry Jones, white mistakes, or black people's problems, or whatever you want to call it. There's many different angles you could look at it, but the fact that it just wasn't an uproar. Same with Brad Favre. The fact that it wasn't an uproar as same as Kyrie Irving when he clearly apologized, and I mean all he did was post something. He literally
he never came out and said, I endorse this film to the fullest. I do believe that the Holocaust was a manufactured thing by white European Jews and whatever it is. And he didn't say none of that. He just posted it. They started coming after him. Then they gave him his ultimatums. Even the Brett Favre shit, like, bro, Brett Favre was caught. It wasn't even just once. It happened the first time. Then he got caught again. And they still wasn't really like on it like that. And then Jerry Jones with the picture, how I look at it as, two ways. One, you getting caught in a picture somewhere, like we really don't know what your intentions were. Maybe you was being a dumb, curious kid, or maybe you was really there trying to stop the baby from coming in. I can't really tell just from looking at that picture. We can make an inference and be like, whatever we want to believe. I don't really know. Two, what was two? What did I say? I had two. What did I say?
I'm not sure where you was going.
I was going somewhere with the second one. I just forgot what the second one was, but it's okay.
Well, I'll try to pick up. Well, the thing for me was with Jerry was how, like you said, not necessarily the picture that made you could get any like reference to was he being racist, was he participating, was he just a bystander? You don't know from a picture, but his statement after, and he was just saying that we all was during a different time, and he almost dismissed the crowd as even being like racist as more as being just ignorant and not being just horrible racists and things like that. So even how he kind of made his apology, it kind of was like most people said a half-ass apology, and it really wasn't even an apology. It really was just a dismissal of the times and him being in at times. But he didn't just dismiss himself; he dismissed everybody in the photo as well. When you kind of look at what he said, so yeah,
clearly the guy in the front with the cigarette was like, "Y'all ain't coming to this motherfucking school." He looked like he was like, "Get out of here, Negro!" Like the guy in the front and those guys. They was clearly now, Jerry. You may be able to get away with the like Forrest Gump. Just I'm looking around, but the guys in the front, bro, you can't really
it's a clear statement you make when you get caught in a picture like that, and he didn't make it. Simple and plain, and I can't make it say he's a racist from that because honestly, it's a difficult and complex conversation. Let's be real. If on one hand he has a racist history, but on the other hand he's also given many black men opportunities of a lifetime and paid them money, I guess maybe that was gonna happen anyways.
Yeah, because it's beneficial to him. He got to get the best talent. He got to get the best talent, so he had no choice.
Yeah,
that's he may be racist, but he ain't racist to the money. He got to get the money.
That's just be my thing. Is I look more on actions because it reminded me of that story of the racist man in a bar that bought everybody in the bar a drink but the black man sitting at the bar. And as he tried to make the black man matter, he the black man just kept struggling it off and things like that. And he kept buying more rounds of drink to piss the dude off at the bar. Eventually it come out the dude at the bar was the actual bar owner. And at the end of the day, he could have kicked the dude out for being racist, but what was more painful is he paid a black man all his money and he didn't fucking know it. So sometimes you could be a little more clever in the sense. So in my mind, a lot of times, yeah, they could be racist. I'm not dismissing that, but the fact that they giving money, they just a dumb racist. So whatever, be a dumb racist. We still eating. Millions of black kids and shit like that has been able to eat off the Dallas Cowboys. So
yeah, and this is my thing too. It's like even let's say. I was asked the question. I said, and I asked a question to the chat right now. Can you have had a bad ideology when you were younger and grow out of that ideology? Especially if that ideology was the dominant one in your upbringing at the time. Because would you be surprised if in Arkansas in 1957, if Jerry Jones was racist? Would you be surprised by that? The same way I wouldn't be surprised if a kid who got put in the Hitler Youth was against the Jews. Like I wouldn't be surprised by that. Now, could you be like, hey, you, at the time you was evil, you was 14, but it's like, I said like this. I was like, not maybe people like, oh, this isn't a good comparison, whatever. I was like, when I used to go, like, when my mama was married to that guy she was married to, right? We used to go to like Homestead and all these places, right? And I used to be around the people, and they used to be around their kids. Let's say they're 7, 8, 9, and they got their kid wearing the flag, throwing up gang signs. Am I gonna be surprised when that kid turns 14 and he's like, I'm a Crip? They're saying they're a Crip right now. They stack it in front of me right now. Am I gonna be surprised if Jerry Jones was born that time? His parents were racist. Do I not think that he might like it was racist? It's not to discount it, but it's like I'm not gonna act shocked and odd if that was the case. Yeah. And I was like, man, you spoke about earlier. It's like, okay, we have the outrage, but it's like, is there something that comes behind outrage, or is it just outrage for the sake of outraging, or is it really just like a media story to talk about, or are people actually wanting something to come from this? Like with Kyrie, they want $500 donations. They want this. They want that. They're denouncing. Like, I mean, Jay Williams came out today and said he wants them to denounce it, but I don't know. First Take schedule, was Jay Williams not on last week before LeBron said this? Like, was he not on?
I don't know. He might have said it then. Who knows?
Yeah, I guess it wasn't as publicized as now. I'm just wondering because it looked real theatrical, and it looked like a theater moment. Like, okay, I'm about to do this, but LeBron said something. I'm a basketball guy. Let's get to the theatrics of it. Regardless, the messaging could be correct, but I kind of still don't like theatrical messaging type shit. Like, I like genuine, in the moment messaging.
Well, I feel like I'll answer two things. I feel like with Jerry, what I was gonna say. I lost my thought that quick. I feel like something with God damn it, I hate when that shit happen. Fuck. I lost my points.
It's okay. Do you think Stephen A is a coon for not ripping him to shreds? Like I see a lot of people on the internet.
Initially I was on that bandwagon, but now no, because he kind of led the contest to be like it really was just a picture and things like that. But I was gonna say, if he was a judge or a lawyer or a cop or something like that, it'd be different to me because like they're pushing laws. You can clearly see their actions are against our people and shit like that. Versus like boom, and then is he a coon? Like I said, he said the thing with the picture and stuff like that, and they brought it into good context because you really don't know. You really don't know. But I was gonna say that I feel like the way that
all
you
that
really
weed make you forgetful.
Boy, no, I'd be a lot going through my mind. Stop it. If it was really gonna be a change or something like that, I feel like they have to acknowledge as like a society or as the NFL in general. It's like, bro, these owners are old and yeah, they might be racist. I feel like if we have that narrative kind of put out in the players and things like that, talk about it. And maybe we give some boosted in pay. Maybe they get boosted in pay because that's just like a thing that is probably known or something like that. I'm just saying like it'll have to change on a level like that everybody have to acknowledge. It's like, bro, if you're an old white person, like you contributed to some fucked up shit. Like 9 times out of 10. Like it's hard to say you didn't, bro. If you really know the culture of America and how grimy it was. And even with Stephen A, he tried to make it seem like it was just the South thing. He was like, if you know the Willie Lynch and how it was in the South, they used to hang them, do all that. Like, no, that was in the North too. Y'all got hold in the North. It wasn't fine just in the North. It just was less aggressive at times, but black people are still getting done wrong up there too. So I don't want to make it seem like it's just a thing in the South and stuff like that, and we the only ones that went through it. Like, bro, this was an American-wide, nationwide thing. Like, slaves was in the North and the South.
Should they still racist in Boston? That's north.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
that way up north.
Let's not act stupid. They be racist in New York too. Like, let's not act stupid, bro. Come on, man. So yeah. But now I don't, like you said, I don't think it's really gonna be anything that changed. Like, even if he does donate, it's like it ain't gonna really do nothing.
Lacey P need to put out their 5 list, man. They need to say you got to donate $500,000. You got to sign Colin Kaepernick. He don't got to be a starter. You just got to sign him. Then you got to hire. Next time you got a coaching vacancy, you must hire a black coach. You must. They got to give him the stipulations, man. You got to get the stipulations. Now, I'm just trolling. I don't really think they got to. I'm just saying, you know, ADL, they be on their shit. They be fine. I be on the ADL Twitter. They be tweeting about shit that happened overseas. They talk about something that happened right here. They constantly like, this happened. Stop hate. Anti-Semitism here. This, that. And NAACP, man, they get on their motherfucking job. They get on their job, man. But the last thing I was gonna say about the Jerry Jones shit was, what was I gonna say? Oh, my point was, the people, LeBron saying, why are you even asking all these people? I was like, I don't think NFL media is gonna press the button because I think personally, Jerry Jones is the most powerful NFL owner. It's the most expensive franchise. He's the most, noteworthy. I would assume if they had like who's the leadership of the NFL owners, he would probably be the guy that's the leader of the NFL owners. So they're not going to really say nothing about it. Then the TV networks aren't going to push the button because ESPN, ABC, NBC, they want, when that collective bargaining agreement come up, they want that, you know what I'm saying? NFL be like, oh, we're going to sign with you guys. Or we're going to sign with you guys. They're not going to
NFL is very powerful when it comes to what you
they're
want to
very
talk
insulated.
about.
They're very insulated in what you can do, especially in owner, like I said, because if let's say ABC run crazy press against them, and let's say the collective bargaining agreement's up, it's like whatever's on ABC. Let's say Monday Night Football, Fox is giving us this deal, ABC's giving us this deal. Jerry like, man, fuck ABC. They said X, Y, and Z. They tried to kill me. Let's go with Fox. Give them Monday Night Football. That's how I think about it.
Yeah. Shout out to all the new people in the chat, man.
Salute to Lonnie Talbot, man. Salute Lonnie Talbot. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, man. Absolute Share Podcast every week, 9:30. Southern white people are racist to your face, or at least let you know they don't like you. Northern white people smile in your face, but racist behind closed doors. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like when you watch, and I'm not trying to make a slave movie like the thing. When slave movies are real, even when people was going to the North, yeah, they weren't in slavery, but they were still dealing with discrimination. Still don't want to hire you. They still don't want to do this. They still don't want to do that. So they still deal with a lot of shit. And that slavery thing just made me think of something. How do you feel? We got to go to Jerry Jones if there's anything else you want to say, but it just made me pop in my head. How do you feel about Will Smith's first movie coming back being a slave movie?
Hilarious. And it's cheap as shit.
Do you think it's like that was something that's already played? Because to be fair, the Chris Rock thing happened this year, and that's too fast to film and edit. But it's like when you think about it, they squashed a lot of other projects, but they didn't squash this one. So it's like, hey, we're gonna kill all the other shit, all the uplifted shit. But
how cheap it looked like it wasn't. They made.
What is it? I think it's like Apple TV or something like that. I think it's like an Apple
that
TV.
Trailer look.
I didn't even see the trailer.
The trailer looks so. You want to? Let's pull it up real quick. Oh, they might take it down.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to look at it real quick. I'll just pull it up on my end real quick. But what's it called? Emancipation, right?
But my last point with Jerry Jones is just you could tell that the media be biased as fuck, bro, and it just be nasty. I'm tired of their ass.
Oh, it do kind of like low budgety. Will Smith should be no low budget shit now.
Yeah, that should look like a Hallmark movie.
Bro, they got Will Smith fighting the alligators.
That should look cheap as hell, bro.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Will Smith should not be in a slave movie.
It don't even look like it.
It's like he's running. Like he's like a runaway slave for real in the movie. He going across the ocean. He running away from the dogs. Like
it make you look like he ain't never been.
Is the whole thing in black and white too?
He looked dirty. I don't even know if it's black and white. He just looked.
Oh, now he a soldier in the damn army. So it's kind of like a fake Django, right? I mean, I think it's inspired by a real story, but he ran away, became a soldier. Now he's trying to come back and save his family. The story, I think the story from. Have you ever seen that one picture of the guy who's like really whipped up, like really bad? He's like kind of turned his back. I think it's supposed to be that guy. I think so. I could be wrong. I think it's like a story about him, but
that would have been amazing if they done it well. It just looked cheap as fuck.
Yeah, it don't look like the great. I feel like it could have been a higher production slave movie, but it doesn't look like.
It don't even fit him as his character don't even look right in the trailer.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say I think there's an actor that looks like they could play a slave, but Will Smith doesn't even look like the role is really like a Will Smith.
He looked too clean.
I don't know. It just doesn't look like, I don't know.
It looked like fake.
I don't want to say nothing. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, so I don't really want to say nothing. You know how motherfuckers will clip something, but
Nah, the filth look manufactured. He don't look really dirty.
It don't look real. It don't look like he really. It's like what I'm saying. It look like a fake.
It don't look like he really went through trauma.
Yeah, like when I watched the new Roots, like they made that shit look like some real, like some shit. Like
you can feel the pain through the character.
Yeah, that don't look like that. Just look like some manufactured shit. But anyways. I don't know. Is there? I don't got. We got Kanye. We touched on Jerry. Pause. I think that's what we got for tonight.
Yeah, I gotta be up early.
All right, great stream, great fun. Appreciate everybody, all the new listeners. Make sure y'all come back next week because we're gonna be here back next week as well. I'm sure there'll be more hellfire. We talking about Dave Chappelle and Kanye shit on him. We talk about it. I didn't like that. I thought I was like, why are you doing? Why you shit on Dave Chappelle? He called me a nigga on the Jewish station. I'm like, he was kind of like lightweight defending you a little bit. Like he was criticizes you as well, but not even like crazy criticism, but also like,
SNL.
yeah. And also it's like you go like kind of turn your back on this guy, Dave Chappelle, when you went through that first episode with the MAGA and what I see, he was the first celebrity that flew out there to you in Wyoming, came to check on you, and was like, I'm gonna turn my back on.
Coming off as real Antonio Brownish.
But he even trashed him. That's like a strong trashed him. He even trashed Kyrie. He did it like in a joking way, like he didn't even believe the Holocaust. But that's like he's joking. He's not for real.
He took the heat off of them with that conversation that he had.
That's why I looked at it as.
He made it a conversation to have instead of it just being straight crucifixion or straight backlash. That's what he did more than anybody. He didn't play when he played both sides. He did that by opening it up because he made it a debate. Like if you only acknowledge one side, they get upset. If
it won't be a conversation. Now it's a conversation all overall because you'll look because what you'll do is you'll pull certain lines. You'll pull like people can do this from. You can pull the line of him saying, "Yeah, there's a lot of Jews in Hollywood, but there's also a lot of black people in Ferguson. But that don't mean black people run Ferguson. But then you also hear the other line of when you black, it's a gang. When you're Italian, it's the mob. When you're Jewish, you don't speak about it. So yeah, you can say you're playing both sides, but I look at that as you kind of playing it smart because you open the conversation up to be had on both sides.
And we know Dave Chappelle been doing that with the LGBTQ because we couldn't say a lot of things, but once he said it, a lot of people start looking at things a little bit differently. So, that's really what he do. And then a lot of times the LGBT could try to make it seem like he bashing them, but then it's like, nah, he was opening up doors and then he was talking shit about other people too. So you can't just say that because
I don't even think he's a Democrat. I don't be thinking most of these entertainers are really Democrat. I think it's just the best thing to say out in public.
Yeah, I did see that. It was like almost everybody that's a conservative as a celebrity, like 70 or 80% of them don't even
say shit. Like when I listened to Joe Budden, he was talking about like politics, and I was like, I just don't feel the way you talk. I just don't see you being the Democrat guy. I just feel like it's like the thing to do. It's kind of like you got the media narrative of Republicans, so you're not gonna really publicly go that way. But it's like policy wise, like a lot of people policy wise. Most I don't know,
I'm gonna be real. Joe Budden do it just because he want to kiss the black women ass, so he do the Democrat shit. Same with Charlamagne. When it comes to the thing
about Charlamagne is Charlamagne will do that on the Breakfast Club, but on Brilliant Idiots, where he knows not a lot of people really go like as much people as the Breakfast Club, he kind of shared different type views about politics. So, and then Kanye was just like, Dave Chappelle doesn't believe in God, Jesus Christ. Why would he be? I'm like, I just watched him on David Letterman speak about his Muslim faith. I mean, maybe he don't believe in Jesus Christ as the Messiah, but like he's still a religious guy. It's just maybe not the religion that the Christian thing you partake in. But it's like, why try to tear him down on a religious level as well? But then like he's a Jewish plant. I was like, he wasn't a Jewish plant when it's just convenient. It's all convenience.
Antonio Brownish, and you can't say he got CTE.
Antonio Brown locked himself in his house today.
Good for him.
They did not sexual assault. They did a domestic abuse warrant on him, and he locked himself in the house. Did a standoff. I'm not coming out. I don't know if he's out now. I don't know if they went and got him, but there was a little standoff going on.
Lord have mercy. This nigga, they about to
down to sports. Down to sports is going down, man. Down to sports is over with.
These niggas are the Titanic.
Is that their fault or is it the Sith? I don't really want to get into it, but I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know.
No, it's their fault, bro. Because at some point, bro, you gotta take care of your brand and know that, bro, they're not gonna look out for you. They're not gonna be fair to you, especially if they don't like you already. So if you don't be careless, that's
I don't trust that. Let me say this about Spotify. I don't really trust that top 5 podcast shit because I know for sure. He's talking about Spotify Wrapped. I listen to way more Joe Rogan than anybody else on Spotify, but it had Academics as my number 1 podcast. I'm like, I don't really watch I watch his podcast only, I guess maybe because there's 3 hours. I know I watched 6ix9ine episode, which I know I watched both the 6ix9ine ones, but as far as like, I don't really go to his podcast.
The whole year, yeah.
Yeah, Joe Rogan, and the third one it's called the Grocery Store Podcast, but that's my friend Taylor's podcast, so I listened to that. Then it was Brilliant Idiots, and then it was Joe Budden podcast. But even like Joe Budden and Brilliant Idiots, I don't listen to it on the app. I watch their podcast if I'm going to watch it. And Joe Budden's podcast, I don't even listen to the whole thing. I listen to segments that I want to actually listen to. But Charlamagne and Andrew Schultz, not the past couple weeks, but usually I listen to their whole shit. But Those are my top 5. It was Academics. It was Joe Rogan. It was the Grocery Store podcast that Taylor does. You know Taylor. They don't know Taylor. But Brilliant Idiots. And then
Boy, he wasn't even about him in your top 5. He was your number 1.
that was probably my number 1. I was like number 1. Like
I'm talking about Flying Low. He trying to use that as an excuse for the Drake shit.
You said yourself you had to go back and do it for the verses, so you was listening to it. I thought my shit was gonna be fucked up by the verses, but I guess it panned itself out. So, yeah, man, that's all I got. Next subscribe, channel, not subscribed already. SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes. Salute you, Flying Low. You the most loyal listener, man. I might have to get you something for Christmas, big dog. I mean, nah, I ain't gonna do that. You are the most. I don't know where the fuck my nigga Charles been. Charles, this is the 3rd goddamn week you ain't been here. I hope everything good with you. I hope you're still alive. I hope you're doing well. That's really the main thing. I don't know where you been. I don't need the money, but I'm just hoping you're doing well because I ain't seen you in the chat in a while. So, salute to Flying Low, salute to Trail, salute to Lonnie Talbot, first time listener from what I can see. Igbo Praise, he been in the chat. Callum Bush, I feel like I've seen that name before, but I don't remember. Salute to SSB28 being in the chat. Vicky coming out of hiatus in the beginning. I gotta hear Vicky defend her guy, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Come defend your boy, man. But we out of here. We'll be back next week. Appreciate y'all. It's your boy D Friend.
Boy B Neil.
Peace.